The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's all. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see as well. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or?
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
Lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Shit. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to Week 18 of the NFL season. It starts Saturday. We also have the College Football National Championship starting on Monday night instead of Monday Night Football. God, it's like this is the one thing about this weekend I actually enjoy because we have like the balance of actually having like a good Monday night game because it's the national championship game. The only time I've actually been disappointed was I think 2020 where Ohio State got their in. So besides that, I am of course your host Jared Clem, alongside my amazing co-host and TikTok sensation Italian Viking Matt Rodazzo.
If only I could find the pen that somebody keeps stealing from my desk because I need to write my picks down.
I wonder who you're blaming for stealing your pen.
I'm blaming.
It wouldn't be your amazing fiance who puts up your bullshit, would it be?
No, of course, it wouldn't be the person that put it in her binder and stashed it so I could find it.
I really hope she comes out like from behind you, like whacking the back of the head or something.
No, she's cooking. She's cooking upstairs, so I'm safe for the next like 20 minutes.
Yeah, until she's listening to the damn show and she's like, Matthew.
So she puts the replay on and she's like, "Oh, you spent the first 3.5 minutes talking shit." Okay.
She's like, all right, I'm gonna like not cook you breakfast tomorrow. Fuck you. And also back off vacation. This man was a globetrotter. He was boots on the ground for the Clemson Tennessee game, ladies and gentlemen. The rookie Mason Rutch. What up, buddy?
How's it going? Glad to be back,
dude. Got to see Joe Milton chucking more bombs than a U.S. air raid.
Yeah, wasn't happy about it, but it was quite a performance from both teams, really.
You know what's so funny? I actually enjoyed the game. I said, I'm like, listen, I said this on our College Football Collab show, and then I also said this on our show the following 2 days later. I said basically, listen, Joe Milton was a good quarterback. Everyone's forgetting, he was a top recruit. And I was like, he has a lot of turnovers. I'm like, yeah, but Clemson has no secondary. Clemson just can rush the passer half their pass rushes out. And I'm like, also, SEC team, ACC team who could barely beat Syracuse. It just, and also, I think Kate Klubnik is just ass.
I mean, he is a freshman. It was his fourth start. So, I mean, and I think, for freshmen, I feel like if you can stack starts, that really helps because when he can't really gain any momentum when, he's starting one game and then he gets sat again. Or he comes in to finish the what game was that? One of the games at home. I can't remember. But he came in and won him the game, essentially. That I can't remember if that was Syracuse. Jared, you would probably.
It was Syracuse.
Okay, yeah. So he comes in, finishes that game up for him. And then the very next game, DJ starts. So it was just kind of, why is he coming in, right? But I'm sure he'll be better next year. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Matt, what did you think about that Clemson debacle?
I was very upset because I picked Clemson, obviously, in our pick'ems. It wasn't. I don't know. I guess I really wasn't too surprised. I mean, I know you had guys filling in on both teams, so it wasn't like you had the day one starters kind of putting up all those points like we were used to seeing, those two kind of teams pile it up. But at the end of the day, I was just kind of hoping for a little more fight out of Clemson. Was really banking on them to take that victory, but it looked like that started off my parlay with a fat L, which meant the next 8 games was just nothing to look forward to because I already lost the first one. But
That's how I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely impressive for Tennessee to win that game with all of the opt-outs, though. I mean, in the way in which they did, like, very impressive.
I think that also shows the amount of depth they have, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't at all expecting. Well, I was expecting. I guess I'm not surprised that Tennessee won, but I was surprised that they beat them by 2 possessions. Right. They beat them by essentially 3 scores. So
yes,
that was what surprised me the most. Not really necessarily that they upset Clemson in a way, but just the simple fact that they were actually able to beat them by like 17 points.
And I guess to take Clemson's side a little bit too, I think it was 4 missed field goals, 3 missed field goals, one of the two. I mean, how often does and Potter's a pretty good kicker too. So I feel like, a little bit of a fluky performance from him, and that just kind of made all the difference, right? And Milton was just slinging the ball.
He was 2 for 5 on field goals. I think his longest was 40 yards.
Okay. Because he missed 3 in a row, I think, to start the game.
Yeah, he missed 3 in a row, and then he.
Yeah, Clemson's first 3 possessions, I think, were literally field goal miss, field goal miss, field goal miss.
Yeah, and that would have made it a 31-23 final. But, I mean, it's hard to think, like, if Clemson finds themselves within 1 possession that they're not going to figure out a way to kind of tie it up. But, field goals, points matter. 3 points, people think it's nothing. But, man, those things add up, especially when you miss 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the problems I always had with like these Clemson quarterbacks is they play. I'm not gonna front the ACC secondaries unless Miami or Virginia Tech throws out like one All-Pro corner every couple of years, or maybe you occasionally get one from like Florida State. Their defenses aren't that good. There's about 5 decent defenses every year in the ACC. The rest of them are absolute horseshit. I'm not gonna act like it's not, and I'll be straight up right now. Miami's defense was good this year. So was North Carolina State's. North Carolina's was basically a passing league defense, and Hughes had a good defense. And look what it did to DJ Uiagalelei. I'm trying to pronounce his name correctly. DJ of OSU now.
Yeah.
But Matt, we have more breaking news because just before we got on the show, got a little update about some news about the NFL playoffs in regards to Bills and Bengals. Obviously, if you were living under a rock, Monday Night Football, about maybe halfway in the first quarter, Damar Hamlin, safety for the Bills, went in to tackle T. Higgins. There was contact with his chest when he hit the ground. Dude stood up, collapsed immediately, had to get CPR for 9 minutes. Really scary sight. The update now is he's up. He's awake. He's holding family's hands. He asked who won the game. I'm not even kidding. I thought that was the coolest story I'd ever heard in my life. I was like, the dude actually asked who won. I guess he keeps constantly improving. He's still in critical condition, but he is improving. His condition is improving, which is awesome. So that being said, the NFL has put forward everyone's been asking, all right, well, with 1 week left in the season, how the hell are you making up one of the most important games of the year, especially with seeding on the line, right? And I'm not trying to do no Skip Bayless thing. Listen, I'm not trying to get canceled or have Shannon Sharp jump over the table and hit me. Because I thought, I'm not going to lie, I thought that was going to come to blows. And I actually want to talk about that too, by the way, because I thought that was just, I don't know anymore if Skip Bayless is a real person or not. So, Matt, you obviously have more. I just caught the tail end of this headline after I was getting out of the shower, running downstairs to get my shit ready. What's going on? What are they thinking about? Your Jets are now back in the playoffs somehow. What the hell's happening here?
I'm trying to figure it all out. So I'm not seeing anything reported from like Adam Schefter officially or anything like that. What I've been seeing all over Twitter, and some people have been sending screenshots of trying to get confirmation on it, is that there's apparently a possibility, not guarantee, but a possibility that I think they've already announced the Bills-Bengals game is canceled and is not going to be resumed. So I guess there's talk about a possible 8th seed in the AFC conference, which would open up obviously another wild card spot for any team, I guess, that's eligible for it. And apparently I believe the 8th seed would play the Bills the first week of the playoffs. So I'm trying to figure out what this means, because right now the Patriots, if that's the case, the Patriots seem like they have probably like a good 90% chance to get into the playoffs, I would assume, because if they, let's just say they lose and the Jets beat Miami, that would eliminate Miami because they have the tiebreaker over Miami because we've already beaten them. But the Jets and the Patriots have the same record, and the Patriots have the tiebreaker, so that would put them ahead of us. And they would obviously be ahead of the Steelers or the I believe they'd be ahead of the Steelers. I'm not sure about the Steelers or the Titans, but I'm pretty sure that puts them in a pretty good spot. My thing is, does that bring the Jets back to life? Because the Jets have already beaten the Steelers. So if Jaguars beat the Titans, that should knock the Titans out. And if the Browns beat the Steelers and the Jets win, then I'm looking at, the Patriots and Jets could possibly both be 8 and 9, or if the Patriots lose, they could both be 8 and 9, and they might have the 7th and 8th seed. I don't know how this is going to work. Even if the Pats win, they would obviously just take the 7th seed. But so I'm trying to figure all this out. I don't know what this means if it's confirmed. So I'm waiting on somebody with a verified check that does not subscribe to Twitter Blue to tweet out that.
Well, I mean, listen, we talked about getting Twitter Blue for the Corner booth. We got 2,000 followers. Why not? Right?
It's up to $11 a month now, but I'm still fine with it.
Oh boy. I saw I think it was A2D Radio. I saw reported it that somebody important actually reported it. And I thought about it. I'm getting out of the car. I'm like, you know what? That's kind of the best case scenario. This game cannot be played again. I think that the players can't double up. The teams can't double up. There's already enough about player safety and Mason just died. Player involvement and like concussions. He's back. And our guest DJ Stewart will be here in about 15 minutes. Dude, you got what happened, man? We thought you got EMP'd or something.
I don't know. I literally have no idea.
All right. I'm going to finish typing this banner out, but I'm going to say this. I think if this is actually true, where they're going to count it for like a win-loss, an 8th team gets in or something like that, where they add like some contingencies instead of playing the game, that's the only way you can do this, and it's the best possible way to do this. I also think if like it's all a moot point. If the Chiefs lose this week and the Bills beat the Patriots, it's a moot point at this point. I mean, it's or vice versa. I can't remember which one. One way, it doesn't matter, and the other way, it does. Either way, I look at this. It's the best case scenario. It's the way that keeps everyone out of the shithole, especially the NFL's PR department. Because with the whole 5 minutes to warm up rumor that's going around,
yeah,
and
not a good look at all.
We didn't say that.
No.
It's like, buddy, like a lot. Joe Buck said it like 6 times on the broadcast. That's NFL protocol.
Yeah, that's not at all good with this. Yeah, like you said, it's just not good to look. And it's the fact that the game was canceled because of the coaches and not the NFL is even worse.
Yeah, my biggest problem with this whole game and everything else, and you know what, and I felt weird. So like I watched it live. I turned it on the play before. Matt, you texted me. I'm like, dude, I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I walk away during the play. I come back and I watch the replay and UTV. I was like, oh my God, like he collapsed.
I flipped the game on quick, and all of a sudden I just see him go down, and the ambulance came up, and I was like, I don't ever remember seeing an ambulance come up on a game anytime.
Yeah, right. And the biggest thing with the whole everything, and it's just everyone was in shock. And the worst part about all of this is that for the next 3 days, we heard about how the NFL handled this the wrong way. Everyone and their mother talked about this game and tweeted about it. And as much as and we heard everyone talk about how, oh my God, if he doesn't play under snap again, he's never going to make any money, or, is charity raised $5 million or like it was like an astronomical number. And the story about, I think it was Kane misspelled his name or something like that. So we donated the same amount again with the correct spelling. And Tom Brady donated like $800,000, something like that. Like all these stories are great. All the covers was great. But at the same time, I understood why everyone went silent with the media. I didn't even want to listen to McAfee Tuesday because that's all they talked about for the entire show. And I'm like, I watched it live. I'm hearing everything on Twitter. I just listen to music. I'm like, all I can do is pray for this guy because besides donate to his charity, I can't really do anything else. So, this whole thing this has just been a weird week in football. It doesn't even feel like it's football season right now.
Yeah, definitely a very unique situation that we'll probably never ever see again, right? I was in the middle of dinner following my fantasy matchup because my opponent had Joe Burrow, and I saw that the game was delayed. And I was like, why? Like, is it a weather delay? I had like, is it raining? What could possibly like hold up the game? And then I went and looked at Twitter and obviously just saw like, and I was like, what in the world is happening?
It's weird. Like my biggest thing with this whole, we'll move on in a second from this because it's obviously everyone and their mothers talked about this in their podcast for the past like 6 weeks. I will say this, right? I really hope DeMar's okay. And the fact that he's alert, he's up. I mean, he's like he's awake, he's improving. It's a good sign. But like as much as I want to, like it's a weird situation because it's like life goes on day to day, and you kind of have to just keep checking for updates. And I just really love how the football world kind of rallied, and even just the whole world is like the sports world itself rallied around this guy's cause. It was a virus, and all the Bengals fans just reaching out, trying to donate to the charity. We're all Bills Mafia was trending. I'm like, that's cool. I love that it's bringing everyone together. Everyone's ignoring that. There is one group of people I want to get at today, though. Before we move on, it's anybody, including those bozos like Bart Scott. Yeah, Bart Scott, you're a fucking moron. Like, I watched your clip. I want to smack you after that one. Your takes are already trash as it is. It's not T. Higgins' fault. Stop saying it. The poor kid was just playing the damn game. He's trying to lean forward for first downs. It's a routine play that happens every fucking 5 minutes in the game. And I'm irritated. Because the poor kid is probably never going to be the same player mentally because he thinks he almost killed somebody.
Right.
Because dipshits like you sitting in your nice cushy office are saying, "Oh, T. Higgins leaned into it, his head-to-head contact." Like, no, it was a normal football play, and that's all it was.
Right.
That's all it has to be.
A normal football play that resulted in a complete freak accident, and that's it. I mean, that's the only way that you can logically think about the situation because at the end of the day, I mean, it's no one's fault. It's not the NFL's. It's not T. Higgins. It's not Hamlin. It's not any of the medical staff, obviously. I mean, it's out of anyone's control, right? It is what it is pretty much. And I think everyone can just be grateful that he survived because, I mean, God forbid if he wouldn't have. I mean, you can only imagine the shitstorm that would have pretty much rained down on the NFL, right? I mean, it would have been like probably nothing.
Think they're definitely going to get hit with shit, but they're getting hit with a lot less shit now that he's alive.
Well, dude, I mean, imagine the sort of legal repercussions if he would have died. I mean, right. What happens? You know what I mean? The NFL would be sued for millions and millions of dollars, and it's just a terrible look, right? Like a player dying mid-game, like that would be insane on national television to boot, right? I think that's what sort of freaked everyone out even more.
And this is one of the games of the year. That's what made it even crazy, right?
With massive implications on the line.
Well, it's like not to make it sound like this, but it's of course like the one time we get probably the best primetime game of the entire season after sitting through 5 or 6 fucking Denver Bronco games. You know, unfortunately something like this has to happen, but it's not like T. Higgins was pulling a Bernard Pollard kind of play from the Ravens when he would just lay out Stephen Ridley and everybody just head first and knock him out cold. It was nothing. There was nothing dirty on T. Higgins' side. DeMar didn't go in head first. It was just like you guys said, it's just a freak, unintentional accident that can happen to anybody at any point in time. It just unfortunately happened to him on TV. And Bart Scott's tapes were terrible. No wonder he didn't last very long on WFAN. But I love the guy, obviously, former Jet, but that was just an atrocious take. And Skip Bayless should also just be ashamed of himself, because I read his tweet and I knew exactly what he meant, I'll be honest. But I knew exactly what he meant, but I was telling
too
my
soon,
wife,
too soon,
time and place.
Yeah,
right.
But I was telling my wife there's a difference between what he was trying to say and just how you don't have to make it a fancy tweet. Like, he was trying to be very extra, very like philosophical journalism tweet. All you gotta say is, my heart goes out to him. My prayers are with him. I pray that he makes a recovery and everything will be fine. You don't gotta get all like fucking philosophical on us, and like, 'cause it's just gonna go the wrong way. Sometimes you just gotta keep it simple, Skip.
I just, when Shannon missed the Tuesday show, I was like,
yeah.
And then then the monologue interruptions. I was like, dude.
Yeah, just chill, man. Like,
bro,
just take a chill pill and like just shut it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes the best course of action is just let the dude just rip you to shreds and take the heat and just don't say anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like an angry girlfriend, right? Like, sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut and just, let her say her thing, right? And get it all off her chest. And after that, maybe have a discussion. But yeah. It was just so bad.
Nothing
like,
escalates the situation more than interrupting somebody while they're talking. If they're especially if they're in an emotional state of mind where they're not like leveled out. No. Not a good idea. Well, then again, I wouldn't expect anything less from Skip Bayless. So, but
I'm waiting for him to just get canceled. That'll never happen. I mean, not even just for him to get canceled. I don't think really anybody enjoys sitting down on their TV and waiting for Skip Bayless to come on, because usually he tweets Undisputed Zone, so I know now to watch it. So,
but the issue is that people continue to watch. I think it's like he's going for just Yeah, I mean, he's going for the shock effect, right? I mean, maybe he wasn't with that particular tweet, but with most things that he says, all he's trying to do is create the shock effect. And so people are going to tune in because he says whatever like ridiculous thing. And that just sort of continues the cycle.
It's the same thing with like Stephen A, except he has a little more like
sense.
Conscious.
Leeway.
Like, he has a little more sense. But I mean, like you look at Stephen A's comment about
Big Rob Taylor coming in.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about that too, Rob. We were saying how Jared and I were both like, we knew exactly what he meant, but the way he put it obviously rubbed people the wrong way. But if he just kept it simple, you don't have to be philosophical. You don't got to be this like journalist guru. Just say,
right.
My heart goes out to this guy, and we're all good. You don't have to go crazy on him, but. I was getting back with Stephen A. Smith was like, everybody almost forgets like what he said about Shohei Ohtani, where he's like, he can't be the face of baseball because he's from Japan. He doesn't speak English. I'm like, well, maybe somebody that is American that should play better than him.
So, you know what we'll do at the end of the show? Mason asked me about this. We're going to talk about the worst commentators in sports, because this year has found a new level. Every year somebody rises up. Mine is still Chris Mad Dog Russo. I want to smack that dude so hard his teeth go up into his throat, man. Like, awful. Either way, Rob, we're happy you're here, man. I missed you. Hopefully, I start catching up some ground in the picks competition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to talk some college football playoff and the rest of the NFL and Pro Bowl headlines, this man is part of the great duo of high-low sports. He looks like a carbon copy of Jonathan Gannon meets Daniel Jeremiah. He may look like C-3PO, but he's got the mouth of R2-D2. Ladies and gentlemen, part of the Bert and Ernie of Belly Up Sports, DJ Stewart.
They get better and better every time. There's nothing I can say to follow that up. It's a work of art. Like, magic touch on it.
Magic touch. I literally watched I listened to Pat McAfee to get my inspiration going, and then I'm like, all right, how can I top it?
How can you put a little bit of icing on the cake? Love it.
I do agree with Rob, though.
Jesus Christ, Rob comes in and out of here.
Bart Scott, I mean, he really was a big one after that comment.
Listen, I'll let that slide. I just don't want to get yelled at by somebody for that show being featured on my podcast. I curse more than anybody else, but shit. Rob Taylor, if we had an air horn, you get the air horn today, man. That gets the win.
I mean, all he's doing is quoting. He's just quoting. Who's the guy from The Boys that always says that word? Billy Butcher. He's just quoting Billy Butcher.
Okay, So a couple quick headlines. We're gonna muscle through. See if you guys like any of these. Jim Harbaugh expects to say after a bunch of rumors about how Jim Harbaugh is leaving Michigan again. He's putting it to bed now. He's saying, I am not leaving. He's saying, I'm staying. I am not going anywhere. So, fellas, quick hits. Are you buying Jim Harbaugh staying in Michigan?
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know if anybody really bought him leaving Michigan, but I don't know. I feel like this is year 4 in a row of him being like, oh, I'm coming back. And then he's like, I'm going to stay. I think he maxed out what he's going to do at Michigan, to be honest with you. I think he should just come back to the NFL. And I think the Colts would be in a perfect team for him, going back to his old team that he used to play for. I know DJ didn't like that. But that's my thought. But no, I'm not surprised he's announcing he's staying, and I think he is going to stay.
DJ, you and me tried to, when I filled in for Kelsey when his car basically died in Alabama, I helped you fill in, and we tried to figure out how to fix the Colts. Jim Harbaugh was not part of that equation.
Not at all. I think if the right opportunity's there, he'll jump out. Like if for some reason a team with like a young star quarterback like the Chargers, maybe he'd come back for that. But I don't think he's going to come back for just anything like the shit show. I think Michigan's the greater betting odds by a lot.
Oh, I was gonna say if they're actually with betting odds, so I think it's only like 4 or 5 states in the entire country can bet on where coaches go because their gambling laws are that loose. I think I saw Michigan was the favorite. My favorite's the Sean Payton betting odds, which are just so skewed.
Where's he gonna go? It's not. He's not going to the Dallas because I mean I think as much as Jerry Jones always wants to get rid of Mike McCarthy because I think he's always fears like Kellen Moore is gonna leave the team or something like that. He comes out and he wins them like 12 games and they can't fire him, and then they lose round 1 or 2. He's not good.
He's not a bad coach.
He's not great.
A bad coach. He's a fucking weirdo, but he's not a bad coach. Oh shit, Matt Barr's in the house.
I got a hot, exaggerated take for you. So Jets beat Miami. Miami fires Mike McDaniel after 1 year because they had a complete torpedo of a second half season and the whole Tua botched like health issues that caused them the playoffs. Miami comes in, swoops up Jim Harbaugh, and then they go get Lamar, and they got Harbaugh and Lamar in Miami. I don't want any of that to happen, but it is in my head just an exaggerated hot take.
Matt, me and you talked about this already, Mason. I want your quick thoughts about Harbaugh in a second. But, Rob's saying Sean Payton, Arizona, I could totally see it happening. I'm just waiting. So we have, obviously, our next episode of the actual recorded show is on Black Monday. Or we might do it on Tuesday. We're not sure. Me, Mason, and Matt haven't decided what we're going to do yet. But I'm actually excited. Black Monday is my favorite episode to do because – like, one time, I think me and Kevin, I think it was 2 seasons ago, just were recording, and coaches were getting fired literally as we were recording. One of them, I think we're like, oh, like freaking out and shit. It was great. But my favorite part of all of this is that it's starting now. The speculation is starting, which means it's going to bubble and get worse. And Matt Porter's on point. I think Sean Payton's the most overrated coach of all time. Breeze and him had one lucky year and then choked in the playoffs. I shit-talked the Saints for days after that loss, after we lost them, because I just had enough ammunition in my belt to blow through a whole house. I literally said, I was getting personal. I'm like, listen, if it wasn't for one lucky year and a Tracy Porter pick 6 and a lucky freaking onside kick, y'all ain't doing shit. You're a poverty franchise who had some inspiration after a horrifying natural disaster. Yeah, the problem is they can't fire McDaniels because Mr. Awesome Haircut Mark Davis has spent all of his money hiring McDaniels. They need money in escrow to fire him. And Rob, as a Chiefs fan, I figure you'd want to keep McDaniels in your division.
Is he talking about Mike or is he
Josh.
talking about Mike McDaniel or Josh McDaniel?
I think Josh, I hope, because why would you fire Mike McDaniel besides the fact he's probably going to get put up on charges for quarterback abuse?
Well, if they missed the playoffs after that hot start with the typical Miami collapse with Tua's health issues, that's what I'm thinking.
Not the coach at this point. Maybe it's a fucking franchise.
That's what I would say. I mean, I don't think
there's only like 31 teams left in the league.
We're derailing, and I want to get Mason's thoughts. Mason, quick, before we go to the next topic, quick, what do you got on – we'll play like a 25-second game. What do you got on Harbaugh staying in Michigan? Any quick thoughts about it?
Yeah, I feel like he stays one more season, and I feel like a lot of these jobs that are open right now are not very attractive in terms of just what's going on within the franchise. So I feel like he stays another year, maybe a better job opens up, kind of like the Chargers, and then he opts for something like that. Sort of not a rebuild, but something that he can jump right into that really just needs like a good coach.
Fair. All right, next headline up. Jadeveon Clowney says he's not re-signing with the Browns after the year. Shocker. The Browns are a dumpster fire. It makes me laugh hysterically. DJ, your boots on the ground in Cleveland. I mean, honestly, I think Clowney to a team like Philly, KC, Buffalo, a team that just needs a rotation guy to rush the passer and stop the run. I think Clowney's a good fit. He's got to drop his price tag a little bit, but I think he could be a key piece next year. I think him leaving the Browns is the smartest decision he's ever made.
100%. And the Browns aren't going to be able to pay him a whole lot anymore because that Deshaun contract kicks in next year, as well as the Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, all the guys they paid are going to start kicking in here recently, too. So they're going to run out a little bit of money and not a lot of draft picks. So I don't blame them. Get out of there, get yourself maybe get a little quote-unquote overpaid to be a rotational player as well, too. Get like $6 million a year to play third down.
No, I think this one beat Rob's comment before. I think this one wins, Matt. Holy shit. He's not wrong, though. Listen, a freak athlete. But, like, there's freak athlete edge rushers. Brian Burns, Josh Sweat, Greg Rousseau. These guys are freak athletes, but they're good. Hassan Reddick, they're elite athletes. And Von Miller. Who's the other one? I freaking
Bradley Chubb.
Doesn't matter. Either way. Myles Garrett, his own teammate. They turn their freak athleticism into amazing careers. Jadeveon Clowney turned one hit into a number 1 overall pick. And also, by the way, I keep getting updates. I thought the Diamondbacks signed Evan Longoria like 2 days ago, but I love it. This dude literally ripped my heart out twice this year on walk-off hits for the Giants. Anyway, no Kelsey to rub that in his face, even though his team's going to be dog shit the next 5 years anyway.
A quick stat on the Jadeveon Clowney thing, which just a touch on his overratedness. He's got 43 sacks in 9 years. That's about 4.7 sacks per season. TJ Watt, who's been in the league for probably half of the amount of time that Clowney's been in the league, 77 sacks. If I'm going to overpay, I'm going to overpay for a guy like TJ Watt. I'm not giving him the fucking, $25 million a year for 1 or 2 years for Jadeveon Clowney. He could be a great rotational piece, like you were saying, but he's not my starter like he wants to be. And he's telling the Cleveland, I want to go somewhere that's going to appreciate me for my abilities. I don't know what your abilities are. Maybe 2 sacks a season, but I'm not paying $20 million for that.
Hell no. Mason, quick thoughts before I go rapid fire in these last 3. We'll jump into national championship talk.
Yeah, I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, kind of like Matt says, nobody. I mean, I guess maybe a team like Houston or something, like a team who's just dying to have like names and sell tickets might be interested, but a legit contender is not going to pay him $20 million a year for him to come and give you a handful of sacks.
Fair enough. All right, quick headlines up. Arson Wentz. I love that. I shot the bench from our brand. Best nickname I've heard all week. Arson Wentz is officially benched. Sam Howell, my least favorite college player. I literally watched Miami put bounties on this guy because he's such a fool. He's going to play for the Commanders against the Cowboys. He could be my hero if he upsets Dallas. Justin Fields will not play in the season finale. Smart by the Bears. There's no reason to put literally the only sliver of hope your franchise has of not being dog shit in harm's way. Greg Berhalter was fired by U.S. men's national team in USA Soccer, I think, earlier this week, and it's being reported that Claudio Reyna's wife Danielle gave U.S. Soccer the info that got him fired about him like basically being the domestic violence about him possibly allegedly being his wife, whatever. Back in like 1991. I don't know what the hell is going on, but like USA Soccer gotta get shit together. We're hosting in 4 years. We're bringing it home, baby. Also, speaking of memes, Bobby Petrino is joining Texas A&M as their offensive coordinator. Hopefully, he doesn't wipe out doing a wheelie into a 6-6 season. I'm done with my comedy. Also, Taylor Heineke told Robert, you know what? As much as I think Heineke's a douche, that's a team player kind of move right there. All right, enough of this stupid ass freaking pop music. I'm done. I feel like I'm in a GTA strip club with that music.
I'm trying to find anything on whatever's going on with this whole, playoff thing, but I'm not seeing anything just yet. I'm seeing a lot of people tweet about it, but not.
Yeah.
Anything.
I just ripped off 4 headlines. Any thoughts you guys have before we move on and start talking college football national championship?
Somebody will pay Carson Wentz to be their starter again next year. I don't know how he does it, but someone will pull it off again.
I hope it's not.
I am petitioning for the Eagles to sign Sam Darnold as a backup. I want Sammy C's Ghosts as our backup. Get that mustache van-loving loser out of my locker room. I'm done. Okay? Man. I watched that interception by Marshawn Lattimore on film the next day. I almost ripped my hair out. I'm already going bald as it is. I was going to go full Mike Burlon by the end of this if I wasn't careful because I was about to rip my hair out. There was no way in hell you stared on A.J. Brown with the number 1 corner on the defense. You see 3 guys coming over on crossing routes. Stupid. I hate Gardner Minshew. He's dead to me. That game pissed me off. Thank God I took an edible before that game or else I probably would have punched a hole in the TV. That was so infuriating. If it wasn't for a hospital ball that got overcovered AJ Brown they took for 78 yards because he's that dude. Also, AJ Brown might have I thought AJ Brown was actually going to beat Gardner. Like, literally take his helmet and start, like, going Andre Johnson on him if he wasn't careful. Some of those throws were terrible. But, yeah, Carson Wentz will get a start somewhere. If, like, a team drafts a project quarterback and they can't get any starters, Carson's a good 5th option. And you know what? I'll say this about Carson. He's got to go to a good situation. Washington was not a good situation. I knew it was going to end in a dumpster fire. Indy, if they had the patience, Carson would have worked. Frank would have made it work. The problem is there's no outside help for Carson. Carson's a B-plus quarterback. He can make a ridiculous throw here and there. He's going to turn the ball over. But Frank was too soft-spoken to tell Carson, hey, shut up, run the ball. Here's some play action to get your arm strength loose and pad your little ego, and then we're good. But unfortunately, Jim Irsay has no patience, and now they're stuck on the QB carousel for the 15th year in a row. As DJ, see when the Colts still had Andrew Luck, DJ had a full head of hair. So
I had a mullet. Are you kidding me? Like I had
DJ had like business in the front. He had a Hector in the front, party in the back. He had a full mop of hair. And then Jim Irsay did this to him. And listen, DJ, I'm with you, brother. I'm catching up. So
if you had any more years of Carson Wentz, we'd be equal.
Bro, listen, I took a Carson Wentz jersey and had my tailor put an A.J. Brown plate on it just to cover up the abomination that was that dude's 2020 season.
Just don't take that jersey to Chipotle. We know what happens when A.J. Brown goes to Chipotle.
Oof, listen, me too. I refuse to eat there. I certifiably think you have to have a stomach of iron to eat Chipotle. I have a slightly sensitive stomach. I can eat Taco Bell for hours and it won't do shit to me. The second I walk into Chipotle, I feel like somebody just punched me in the gut, like trying to hit one of those boxing things in the freaking sports bars. Like it's just I'm hurting. Like I feel like nauseous. So I don't know. It's something about like those buffet style places. I don't trust them. All right. Speaking of not trusting it, let's talk national championship game. I don't trust this line, man. I think this is too big of a line. 12.5 points. We'll get to it in the 6-pack in a minute. The 6-pack will be a perfect lead-in for it, obviously. But gentlemen, we made it. 2 teams. We have the defending champs versus the upstart. Where the fuck did they come from team? I think they said on Craft Brew Sports, shout out to Mikey B and the boys. I think they were plus like 15,000, 20,000, 1,200, something like that. They were a ridiculous number to win. They weren't even projected to make it out of their freaking conference. I think they were projected to be the 4th seed in the Big 12 this year.
Sounds about right.
Max Duggan wasn't even supposed to be their starter.
Yeah.
And the worst part, the craziest part is, by the way, they're going to run that conference because the guy who got hurt in preseason, who Max Duggan replaced, he's playing next year. Apparently, he's even better than Max Duggan. So, and dude, Sonny Dykes might be the most underrated coach in college football right now. TCU might be running that shit for a hot minute. And my favorite part about this whole thing is that all these Michigan fans complain, we got screwed. No. Yeah, that was a touchdown. But the way you guys were giving up big plays, it wouldn't have mattered. They would have scored another touchdown. It didn't freaking matter. Georgia should be praying to every football god possible because this dude went full Ace Ventura Pet Detective and shanked that ball hard right. I was waiting for a laces out meme or something because this ball was so far to the left, it was basically calling for like taxing the rich. There's more political joke of the day, boys. DJ, we talked about this, of course, on me and Matt talked about this on Tuesday, on Monday with our show. We witnessed the greatest opening round of college football play I've ever seen, because even the inaugural season was called the GOAT. That was the best one because it was one with no blowouts. But then you forget Oregon kicked Florida State's head in, and then you had Ohio State beat the hell out of Alabama. I think this is the best college football play of all time so far. I really hope TCU makes this a good game. I want them to win. I will put money on them to win. But betting wise, I don't know, man. We might do Matt. Okay, so if you bet on TCU to cover, you might get a 0.5 point this week. I think that would be a nice kind of incentive.
I was gonna go the whole way and just take them to win. Not gonna lie to you.
I mean, listen, this is why you're my co-host because you're just as fucking nuts as me.
I'm down. I'm on the Duggan wagon.
I am too, bro. Listen, if you just won the Heisman, I probably would have gone streaking down Broadway. So here's the thing. I love this TCU team. Quentin Johnson is, and to quote Jake Crane, friend of Belly of Sports now, did the college football crossover with me and a bunch of the dudes from here at Belly of Sports. Dude, TCU's receiving core is nasty. They got 2 big-ass motherfuckers on the outside and a speedy slot receiver. That's a pain in the ass. Listen, Keely Ringo will probably lock up Quentin Johnson for half the game. That's fine. There's still 2 other guys I got to worry about, plus the fact that they've got an absolute unit at running back. I literally texted Kevin. I said, dude, is like LeGarrette Blount's son their running back? Like, this dude is like the size of a linebacker running through the hole. Oh, what up, Chet? I forgot this dude was. Chet was watching. He's actually, by the way, Corner Booth and Sports Scramble crossover next weekend. Next Thursday is going to be fun. Chet and his co-host are dropping by. Yeah, Chet's right. Even if you're going to be a chicken shit and bet the bet the spread instead of betting money lines are for real men. Hashtag I said it. Listen, I love TCU in this. I want them to win. Somebody give me a reason. DJ, what are you feeling about this game? Are you like your? I love it. He's going with it.
That was the first bet. That was one of the first bets we made when they legalized betting here in Ohio as well too. I look at this one. Keely Ringo's nice. He's a first-round pick. Marvin Harrison terrorized him. If Marvin Harrison doesn't get decapitated, Ohio State's winning that game. And They almost won without him. CJ Stroud played himself into a top 2 pick in just that game. He was already probably there, but he put a stamp on it. Max Duggan. Sorry, go ahead.
Keely Ringo's biggest problem is he's a freak athlete with amazing range, size, strength, and he needs to kind of convert. He needs I think honestly, I was talking about this with my one of my gym buddies who listens to the show. Shout out Dave. I said, listen, the best situation, this is even biased, is to go to a place like Philly, where he's got a guy like Darius Slay, or like a guy at a place like LA with Jalen Ramsey, who have picture perfect cornerback technique. Because like Jeff Okuda, freak athlete, horrible form. This dude's footwork on back pedals gives me nightmares. And this is why I probably should start coaching, because I would have screamed at Keely Ringo for about 30 minutes during halftime. I watched this dude try to cover Marvin Harrison Jr. If it wasn't for a kill shot down by the goalpost, dude, this may have not been a close game. Georgia was falling behind. So Georgia should be thanking their lucky stars. One, that they have a basically assassin in their back end of the defense. Two, Keely Ringo got his ass bailed out, because watching him cover, his footwork, his hips, everything's a little loose, but like too loose. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think, and I completely agree with you.
I think Max Duggan too I think he has a lot to show. You saw CJ Stroud throw off the legs, and he was known as basically a statue. Imagine what Dugan's going to do when he gets into the open field as well too. He's going to terrorize him for it. Quentin Johnson's going to, if you give him an inch he showed in that last game, he will take a mile and laugh at you the entire way. He will backpedal for a mile while he goes for 75 yards on a 1-yard catch. And I think defensively TCU is a little bit better than Ohio State is too. Ohio State's defense was for a lot of the year, as an understatement as well too. It was very And I'll
say this about Ohio State's defense, right? Like, we've always known they've been an defense. They haven't had a good defense. The Bosa brothers were there. Yeah. Even their Chase Young defense wasn't that good.
I don't know about that, but they have had average defenses. I mean, let's not,
Oh no, I'm going to take shots at Ohio State because I actually thoroughly enjoy it. I'm still bitter about 2003. I don't want to talk about it.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. I will say this though.
Yeah, you go.
I'll say this before we get to Mason and Matt. I'm in the same boat as DJ. I love everything about this game. Something smells good. This smells like Texas USC to me. Where, I'm going to have to call into work and say I'm going to be 15 minutes late because I'm going to have to be nursing the lack of sleep hangover, not even the drinking hangover, from the fact I'm going to be, glued to my television. Mace, you were boots on the ground for Clemson. You got to see a great beatdown with Clemson getting their ass kicked by Tennessee. What are you thinking about this game? You're in the college football fever. You had to play this team as an Oklahoma fan and a student. What are you thinking about the fear? Are you fearing the Toads or what?
Yeah, dude. So I've got a lot of thoughts. Just to start it, I feel like, look, so when TCU played us, they played us without our starting quarterback for 3 quarters. I think that needs to be said. Granted, they blew us out, so I don't think it would have changed much. They completely outplayed us in all 3 phases of the game, so I don't think that would have changed much. But to kind of take Michigan's side a little bit, 2 pick sixes by TCU, a red zone trip with no points in the first quarter, I believe, first drive of the game, and then a fumble on the 1-yard line that they ended up scoring a touchdown on. So I just feel like TCU was very fortunate in this game. A lot of things went their way. Michigan made a lot of mistakes. To me, Michigan, if you eliminate one of those mistakes, 2 of those mistakes, they win the game very easily. So I think Michigan kind of got robbed a little bit. I know everyone loves TCU. They love the Cinderella story. So, look, I mean, it's great. So the starting running back for TCU is questionable. I would have to imagine that he, if he can literally lace it up, if he can run, he's probably going to be on the field Monday night. If he's not, I think that's something to pay attention to. I guess the second sort of stringer, their second running back to their 1-2 punch did fumble against Michigan. So I don't know how good he is. DeMercado is his name. I think he's solid, but he's definitely not the same player as Kendre Miller. So I don't know. I mean, they're giving Georgia a lot of love with a 2, possession sort of line here, but I don't know, man. I just feel like TCU is very fortunate in the semifinal, and I don't know. I feel like maybe Georgia played down to Ohio State. I don't know how else to kind of phrase it, but I feel like
down to TCU. That's the thing. It's like this Georgia team
they're very good. They're very talented.
They're very good, but the thing is, you also have to realize Stetson Bennett's still their quarterback.
Of course.
I don't fear Stetson Bennett. I fear Jalen Carter. I fear Keely Ringo. I don't fear Stetson Bennett. And if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm like, all right, let's make Stetson beat us. Let's see him chuck those balls. Like, besides those tight ends, that offense isn't like elite. Like, this isn't 2019 LSU or 2020 Bama or
the offense isn't
Miami.
Lethal at all.
They're not lethal.
Agree.
They're okay. But they've been beating up on decent SEC teams, and they beat a good OSU team on the worst missed field goal I've seen since Florida State wide right, Mark 3.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know. All right,
I
Matthew.
think
Oh, sorry. I
just one more thought, and then you got it, Matt. I don't know, man. It's a confusing matchup because TCU, I feel like, has made this run pretty much being like people just don't know what to expect. And people probably didn't really take him seriously until that Big 12 championship against K-State. And so I feel like now that they're kind of in the game, maybe it all kind of hits the team, and they sort of feel like, wow, like we're actually in the national championship, and maybe just all of the hype, because I feel like up until this point, they've kind of been able to embrace that underdog mentality and use it to their advantage. But now that they're playing, to me, I feel like the best team in the country. I mean, it's a very tall task to ask them to win this game. So I don't know. I really don't know. If it was me, I think you would have to take TCU points here, but I still think Georgia wins the game.
Yeah, Matt, what are you rocking here before we go into the picks?
Everybody knows, obviously, me being a Jets fan, I love the underdogs, and this is a big underdog matchup for TCU. But at the same time, this is going to be exciting. I expect TCU to give Georgia the fight of their life for this season. You got Max Duggan, like we were talking about, who I believe you guys were saying he wasn't even the QB1 for them for the season. But in my opinion, I think he had a better year than Stetson Bennett. He had less interceptions. He had 9 more touchdowns than him. I believe he had a little better of a completion percentage than Stetson Bennett. But overall, I'm looking forward to this matchup, and I think TCU does at least cover it. I am going to take TCU to upset it because I just feel like I'm just tired of seeing Georgia win. And like you guys said, I don't also fear Stetson Bennett. I think he's just an average, mediocre kind of guy, and not mediocre, not to put disrespect on his name, but I don't think he's going to be the next first round kind of guy, obviously. But it's really that defense that I worry about. But if TCU can come out quick, come out hot, and rattle that defense up, I think, it's anybody's game. But give me Sonny Dykes, give me Max Duggan, give me TCU.
There we go. All right. Matt led us into it. Ladies and gentlemen. Get them shades out. All right. With that being said, this next segment is brought to you by the amazing people at YeatsOfficial.com. Listen, you want to look as stylish as I do right now? You want shades that are not only Jared-proof, are dog-proof. DM Kevin right now on Twitter, at McCorkle Stan account, or Belly Up Kev, whichever way you find them. His dog literally chewed a hole through one of these pairs of sunglasses, perfectly intact, except the nose piece came off. That's pretty good. Saban's a big dog. So, that being said, polarized, stylish, 1,000 different colors and styles. Got to give them a ring. They're loud, proud, and they fit the Belly Up moniker of just being ourselves. Corner booth for 10% off. Get a pair today. All of them are affordable, under $40. You can't beat that price. Our boy Hector's got a pair. Boy LeDuc's got a pair. I know half the Corner Booth crew's got a pair. They're good sunglasses, and they're one of our oldest sponsors. Show them some love. YeatsOfficial.com. Promo code Corner Booth, 10% off. And, gents, with that being said, let's crack a six-pack. All right, kicking it off with the national championship game. Matt already said he's taking TCU because he's a crazy bastard. You know what? In solidarity, my friends, I will as well. Because you know what? I don't care. Listen, I was prepared. I knew I was going to lose this year because Matt's like the smartest co-host I've ever had. No offense, Kevin. At least betting-wise. Kevin will try to bet the dumbest thing and try to make it win. I won 3 straight bet pick competitions. I'm owed like 1 jersey and 1 T-shirt. And I said, you know what? I'm going to break the trend. I'm going to lose and pay out. Matt's going to get his Sauce Gardner jersey, and I'm going to be sitting there looking at my Hassan Reddick or Jalen Hurts jersey like, so close. So, that being said, Matt and I are both going with TCU here. Listen, repeat champions are hard to muster in any sport, right? What's harder than that is doing it in college football where they're literally trying to get at the SEC to make them stop winning college football games. TCU is a team that's built to beat big physical teams because they just score to a pass. Oh, look, we got some new face in the crowd. What up, McCarthy? Shout out, man, I love football. Best thing of all time. And also we have Mr. Wilson. They can hang with Georgia. Mr. Wilson, I agree. Shout out to Kevin, by the way. He won our championship. Wait, Stetson Bennett won the Heisman? I thought it was freaking
No, it was Caleb.
Shut up, Chet.
He got to
no, we don't give Stetson anything. Fuck the mailman. Give me TCU.
Yeah, he got to the Heisman. I don't think he meant he won.
Yeah, no. Okay, so yeah, fuck Stetson. He shouldn't have gotten in at all.
That's true.
They should have put a running back or receiver in there. All right, DJ, who are you taking here?
Give me TCU on this one. Everything we kind of talked about earlier, I kind of queued it up for this one, but I'll take TCU in this one. And I also think if Georgia does fall behind like they did against OSU, TCU's defense is not going to – they're not going to cave. Their defense is much better than Ohio State's, I think, too. Like, they will shut the door if they take the lead like that. So I'm going to take TCU in the upset. Worst case scenario is they're covering that 12.5 points. I don't think Georgia's going to score enough to get a 12.5 point difference.
My biggest problem with Georgia is that, like, I don't – like, it's not like they have Matt Stafford catching balls under center. Or who was that quarterback they had 2-3 seasons? Oh, Justin Fields, right? Yeah, it's not like Justin Fields or JT Daniels is catching snaps under center. Stetson Bennett's like, let's be honest, that Alabama team last year was – the Alabama game last year was like, all right, they won because they were a better physical team, but, like, no more Jordan Davis, no more Wyatt, no more Walker. Like, no more my boy, Nakobe Dean. Like they lost a lot of talent there. Mason, who are you going with here?
Yeah, I got to go Georgia. I do feel like TCU does cover. I think it's going to be a close game, but I feel like the magic runs out. I hate to sound like a hater. I'm not, but I feel like the logical choice here has to be Georgia winning. TCU keeping it close though.
Fair enough. It's crazy to me. I look at this game, and before we move on to NFL, this is in all the matchups, this is the one I wanted to see the most. I wanted to see defending champion. I wanted to see the upstart team. I didn't want to see OSU Michigan. I didn't want to see Michigan Georgia. Like, fuck that shit. Like, if it's Michigan Georgia gets their head kicked in. Let's be fair here. Like, they're like that Georgia team. Like, Georgia would kill Michigan. They're built to beat a team like Michigan. Are they built to beat a team like TCU? Now, let's be honest. We all could lose some money because TCU might get their head kicked in. If they might not be ready to physicality, but they also said that about Michigan's O-line and D-line. And I don't know. I'm not a revisionist here, but I think TCU won. I did call that also.
We'll say TCU.
Got a hydrate, got a foot cramp.
They're not quite like the Notre Dames or the Cincinnati upstart teams again. It's like a legit team like a legit major college football team that just happened to surprise people. I don't think it's like those other ones that snuck in.
I think my biggest issue with all this is that everyone's looking at it like, hey, like it's Georgia. We gotta give them the chip. It's like, I don't know, guys. Like this kind of, like I said, USC Texas vibes. This is what it gives me. This could be an epic night on Monday. All right, moving on. We're going to start off with the biggest spread, tied for the biggest spread of the week besides 49ers versus Cardinals. Giants Eagles at -14. The only reason this game is on here is because of its implications. It is on here for the only reason possible is that my Philadelphia Eagles, I say mine because they're my fucking Eagles. I even have the freaking stupid, Loci bracelet, whatever of them now. Need the number 1 seed. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's playing. Robert Quinn is playing. The only guys we're missing right now are Lane Johnson and Avonte Maddox. And reportedly, Jalen Hurts is like trying to fight Sirianni to get on the damn field. Because I think if he doesn't, A.J. Brown might actually throw Gardner Minshew out a window. That being said, give me the fucking Eagles. I don't want to give this as my gimme, but they're in the 6-pack, so I get a pass here. Give me the fucking Eagles by 50. Not 50, maybe 20. I just there's an attitude in Philadelphia, and the Giants have just been bucking for it. Nick Foles getting basically killed by Kayvon Thibodeau, then him doing the fucking snow angels about it. Then Brian Daboll saying, "Oh, we're not going to sit our starters." Okay, and then because the Giants are one of those few teams that can't move up or down. They're 2 games behind Dallas. They can't go up. They can't go down because I think the next closest team is has 6 losses. So why play? Why risk Saquon or Daniel Jones or Hodgins or I don't even fucking who knows catching the ball from them anymore, getting hurt, right? And then on top of that, Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't even know who Jeff Saturday is. Bro, Kayvon, I admit you're a good rookie, but dude, like you're really asking for somebody to Jordan Mailata to plant your ass in the ground. So I'm hoping it's like the last time where the Eagles just humble the hell out of the Giants. But so yeah, give me Birds by a lot.
Yeah, I don't believe that the Giants are going to play their starters, at least for the whole game. Maybe I don't know. They can't lose any positioning. I don't think they can increase their positioning. So there's really nothing they're playing for. They've already locked it in. So I wouldn't start the starters, but I don't think they're going to play the entire game. So I'm taking the Eagles because the Eagles are going to play their starters, and they just have more to play for. They're playing for the number 1 seed, whereas the Giants are where they are, and they'll be in the playoffs regardless. So I'm taking the Eagles with this one because simply just they actually have to win this game, so they're going to play their starters.
Yeah. DJ.
If Jalen Hurts plays, the Eagles win, they cover the spread, and they run away with it. And the Giants sit everybody by halftime. I think they just play him to make sure they don't get rusty. I think Brian Daboll's not stupid. He's not going to play. He's not going to run Saquon 40 times in this game. If Gardner Minshew plays, the Eagles win, but it's by 4 because Gardner Minshew, as we talked about earlier, not that good. Everyone likes him because of the jorts and the mustache, and because the stats look good with the 40 touchdowns, the 10 picks, or whatever it is as a career. That amounted to 3 wins in his entire life, basically. So
yeah,
he
hasn't won a game since Mike Leach was his head coach. Let's be honest.
Realistically,
RIP to the Pirate.
Exactly, and that's more of a testament to Mike Leach than it is a compliment of Gardner Minshew. That's just how good Mike Leach was as a coach. So give me the Eagles winning. And if Jalen Hurts plays, they cover the spread.
Fair. All right, Rook, what you got?
Yeah, I just feel like if Hurts plays, blowout win, and kind of like DJ said, Daboll sits the starters by halftime. But if Minshew plays, I think this game could be very interesting. But once again, I mean, knowing that the Giants have essentially nothing to play for except for keeping their players fresh, maybe do they hand them the game essentially? Like, do they play their starters and try to win the game just because it's an in-division rival and they just want to rain on their parade? I don't know. I don't know what ends up happening with that, but I don't know. Hurts was limited today in practice. Who knows what happens with that? So, yeah, I mean, the logical choice is Eagles here. But this game could get very interesting depending on who the quarterback is of the Eagles.
I think, and this is things I've heard from people I know in Philadelphia, because I got a couple connections down there. I look at this and I've heard it just Hurts is basically trying to kick Sirianni's door through to get to play. I don't think he doesn't play. Listen, I know he's gonna have the shortest fucking leash of all time. Like he's gonna throw a touchdown pass to AJ Brown up by 15, up by like 14. All right, you're done. AJ, you're done too. Devontae, Miles, you're all out. Done. We're also forgetting the Eagles backups did put up like I think 180 yards and a touchdown on the Giants in their blowout win last time they played. The Eagles don't have bad backups. If the Giants pull their starters early too, I'm more worried about like a cheap shot from Kayvon Thibodeau on Jalen. That's really what I'm worried about. Besides that, like I could care less. So yeah, I think the Eagles will pull this off. Moving on. Actually, no, wrong game. We're going to go to this one. Browns Steelers. Because this game got interesting for no reason. Because somehow Mike Tomlin is one win away from a winning season. And if a couple dominoes fall his direction, the Steelers make the playoffs. The same Steelers team had an A.J. Brown going like this to the secondary. So, gentlemen, I ask you, who wins, Browns or Steelers?
This is very tough because, in my opinion, these are very similar teams talent-wise. I don't really think one's really better than the other. Like, obviously, you got the better quarterback. You're obviously going to go and give Cleveland. Steelers are the better defense. I'm taking the Browns run game. It's very 50-50 at this point to me. I am going to take the Browns as like a little upset. Deshaun Watson, he may not be putting up some crazy stats.
I'm not giving you points fast, too low.
All right, that's fine. But I'm still going to take that one. I have a different upset. Maybe that might work. But I think the Browns take this one. I think Deshaun Watson may not be putting 300-plus yards up a game, but the last game he played, he had 3 touchdowns. So he's starting to kind of get back into a little bit of a rhythm, and you got a rookie quarterback on the other end that has no idea what winning is. But I'm going to take the Browns right now with that one, and I think Tomlin's safe. Obviously, I don't understand why anybody would think he should be fired, but I'm going to take the Browns to top the Steelers in this one.
DJ, what you got?
I agree with literally everything Matt said, but I'm still going to take the Steelers for no other reason than Mike Tomlin has some weird witchcraft, which refuses to let him go under 500 at this point as well. And it's tough, though, because the Browns are playing for nothing right now, and that's when they play their best, as weird as it is when they're eliminated already. But I'm still going to stick with the Steelers by the skin of their teeth because they still have that fighting chance as well. And I do think while the offense isn't quite clicking for the Browns, it's not explosive. They still are. It's a little explosive. It's just not consistent. And that Browns defense has still been the last few weeks it's been good, but I still don't trust it long term. So I'll take the Steelers, but I don't feel good about it.
I'll go like this. I'm taking the Browns. Like the offense looked decent last week, and Washington's defense isn't bad. They actually do force turnovers. They do actually get after the quarterback. They're not an elite defense by any stretch, but they're not bad. Pittsburgh defense is good, but they're missing a lot of pieces, and I think this is finally the year. I think Mike Tomlin finally has a losing record. It just took an extra game to do it. Watson, I'm seeing it in his rhythm, in his passing, and the velocity. The rust is shaking off. I think this is the first week where him, DPJ, Amari Cooper, and the boys, they actually put up some numbers here. I think Cleveland wins this one. Mace.
Yeah, this game is in Pittsburgh. I think this game gets a whole lot interesting if the hypothetical 8 seed comes into play. Because at that point, I want to say that the Steelers may be looking at a win-and-in situation. I guess maybe that would depend on the Jets-Dolphins game. They would probably need the Jets to lose that game to Skylar Thompson, which is probably not likely. But you know what? Give me the Steelers. They're at home. They're potentially fighting for a playoff spot. I think Pickett is starting to kind of gel with his team. Najee's picking it up. And they're trying to continue the season, man. I know they are trying to get in the playoffs and make Tomlin proud. So give me the Steelers to win this one.
All righty. And next up, we've got the game that basically decides I don't even know how this affects it because we don't know how the playoffs are going. This game means something because we don't know who the number 1 seed is in the AFC, and now it's like, how's the NFL going to decide this? Either way, this game has importance now because the Bills need to win, the Patriots need to win. I'm a Bills. I think they do this strictly for Hamlin. I think they may run the Patriots off the damn field.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Bills on this one, just for that also fact that I think from here on out, every game is going to be for DeMar, and I don't think any team's going to stop it right now.
Let's rephrase this. Who's playing the Bills in the Super Bowl?
Eagles.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, the NFC, dude.
Josh Allen's holding up that
country
trophy.
ain't ready for a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl. The country ain't ready for a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl. The two most rowdy fan bases in all of sports.
Oh, it'll be the Beagle Bowl, the Bills-Eagles.
The Beagle Bowl? I love it. All right, Nate.
Yeah, this is tough for me. In Buffalo, man, I mean, the Patriots just do not – we do not look good at all. We got the win last week, but this offense, man, is just – it is so hard to watch. The defense is there. The defense has never been the problem in the last 20 years. We've all known that. We've all become very accustomed to the Patriots having very good defenses. But I think with the whole Hamlin situation, added to the fact that the Bills are going to basically be playing for that 1 seed, I don't see how they win this game, barring like a complete miracle. I see Buffalo winning this game, honestly, in like kind of a rout. So give me the Bills.
All righty. DJ.
Well, normally the Bills seem to be giving the Patriots trouble the last couple of years, as it is anyway, when they're just kind of casually playing away. But now you have this extra kind of force behind it as well, too, playing for DeMar. Give me Bills by $1 billion. It doesn't matter if it's 85 Bears to line up across them this week. I think it's going to be a different force.
Just take all the overs. Just jack the overs up.
Please, just the yes to every over. It doesn't even matter what the number is.
Yeah.
Just give me the Bills by a comfortable amount.
Exactly. There's one game I want to talk about. It's in our bonus can segment after this before we get into our worst commentators of the year. But there's some incentive bets. Like the Bills may actually like thank God there's no week 18 fantasy. They might skew some fantasy lines. By the way, congratulations to anybody who joined me in winning their fantasy league this year. Shout out to my commissioner who's not even said congratulations, sent me my trophy, asked what my Venmo was, anything. I'm feeling the love right now, Sawyer. All righty. Rams, Seahawks. This game is important for 3 reasons. 1, it's Baker versus Geno, 2 quarterbacks who got written off. 2, it's a rivalry game. 3, this game determines if Packers Lions actually mean something. Well, that game's going to mean something anyway because the Lions, if they win, knock the Packers out of the playoffs. But my grandmaster plan of getting the Lions into the playoffs to wreak motherfucking havoc all rests on Baker Mayfield's very nice shoulders. Give me the Rams. This is my upset pick. Me and Matt both get a double upset because we both took TCU, but that one's a gimme because we're both swinging with it. So I said, fuck it, let's go. Both get upset. Matt, was this your upset pick?
This was also going to be my upset too, yeah. So my reasoning for this was.
You want to listen? It's our show. Fuck it, we can do whatever the fuck we want. We'll both go double upsets here, and we'll each pick another upset to add on to this.
Okay.
If you want.
No, I'm down for that. My reasoning with the Rams is, so this is really stupid, but I have my own algorithm going on right now. The Baker's first week with the Rams, they won. Second week, they lost. Third week they won, and then I believe this past week they lost. So right now they're due for the win, but also the fact that the Rams are completely out of it. They're playing for nothing. And like DJ was saying before with the Browns game, that means teams are going for it on 4th down. And this just gives me PTSD flashbacks to 2015 when the Jets played the Bills, winning were in, and Tyrod Taylor and the Bills went for it on every single fucking 4th down you could think of, and we did not stop them once, and we lost. So I'm getting PTSD from just thinking about that, and I'm thinking it's going to happen with this game. So give me the Rams. I expect a lot of 4th down conversions, and I think they're going to keep Seahawks on their toes.
DJ.
You guys remember in like 2014 when the Packers were terrible, that Aaron went on his famous RELAX relax soundbite, and then suddenly they won 8 in a row and got into the playoffs? I feel like when he says like we're not mathematically eliminated, I'll play is just the 2022 version of that. And for that to happen, for them to get to the playoffs, it's going to require the Rams to win so that they could play the Lions to get in. So I'm going to take the Rams for no other reason than history is really poetic how it repeats itself. And I can see this somehow repeating itself to where the Packers find their way in and we have to listen to Aaron Rodgers with that smirk smile. Be like, I told you guys, for like 3 consecutive hours on Pat McAfee's show. So give me the Rams in this one because it's I got a weird feeling about it. I'm going to go with the weird feeling on this one.
All right, Mace.
Give me the Seahawks. Playoff on the line or playoffs on the line, spot in the playoffs on the line. They're at home. I would guess the weather is not going to be very favorable for the Rams playing in a dome stadium for their home games. So give me the Seahawks. I love Mayfield, love my boy, but I don't see him winning this game because there's no point. So yeah, give me Seahawks.
I'm going to switch my pickup. I'm going with the fucking rookie here. Mason, you've got me believing. I did say that the Rams were going to cover, but there's something about this game, man. Geno's revenge. It won't end like this, man. I really think that Geno Smith is going to chuck a miracle pass to DK Metcalf or Lockett to end the game, or not Lockett, Disley to end the game and call this ball game, or Goodwin. It's going to be one of those, like, it's going to be a nail biter. But Rodgers is going to watch his playoff hopes slip away and melt, and it leads us into our next game. I'm switching my pickup. I am actually going with the Seahawks. So, Matt, this is your upset pick. I will find something for myself.
Perfect. I was not ready to pitch you my other upset because I was thinking of how I was going to sell it. It was going to be the Raiders over the Chiefs.
I mean, listen, if they don't play Mahomes, you might have a ball game there. All right, next one. I am going to give my speech why the Lions are going to fucking win this. I don't care who wins the fucking Rams game. Okay? The Lions are the hottest team in football. They are also the most dangerous team. They are, you know who they are? They're the 2011 Eagles, who could not play defense the first half of the year. They won like 6 or 7 straight to close the year after they put Mike Vick in after Vince Young. This team is just knocking teams out. They're beating teams badly. They may not make the playoffs because the Rams can't do what they're supposed to do, like the 2011 Jets couldn't do what they're supposed to do. Don't worry, Matt. I didn't forget that one. I'm going to say this right now. This Lions team is just going to get sick enjoyment out of watching Rodgers suffer, because that's what gets Dan Campbell up in the morning, is watching the Lions throw a hand grenade into this NFC North dynasty that Rodgers created. You can tell me that you say, Jared, hey, Jared Goff, listen, you get to basically tell Rodgers to go F himself as you watch his playoff hopes melt. Jamal Williams' Pro Bowl season continues against his rival team. You get to tell these younger receivers, hey, next year, we're winning this fucking division because the Vikings are about to be a dumpster fire. So, because the Vikings are probably going to get their ass kicked in the first round, who doesn't matter. And if by some reason the Seahawks end up losing, even more reason why the Lions are going to win this fucking game. Give me the fucking Lions by 50. God damn. Dan Campbell has these boys fucking rolling. I love it. Motor City Day. I'm telling you, man, we're about to bite Rodgers' kneecaps. Shailene Woodley's got to come pick this up, or that witch he's dating now. Fuck. Double espresso. I'm with it. Give me the Lions by 1 million.
Sound like Paul Crew from The Longest Yard out here trying to rally
Matt,
up the
you're
boys.
muted, dummy.
I don't know how it keeps muting. I'm like, my hands aren't even on it, but I'm taking the Packers. A must-win game in Lambeau. Jared Goff in that frigid, cold weather, and when the game's on the line, it's a win-and-in situation. I'm always going to take Aaron Rodgers over Jared Goff. So give me Packers to win this game.
All right. So the weather report is 30 degrees, no precipitation.
I'm still taking Rodgers.
I don't know, man. That's looking a little towards Goff there because
The only time I take Goff is if that degree temperature went from 30 to about 72.
You know what? I don't think you give Goff enough credit. He's had an amazing season this year. But Mace, go.
Yeah, I know Rodgers has not been good in actual playoff games at home, with trips either to the Super Bowl or to the NFC Championship, clutch games where they needed a big performance out of him. But I think this is a little bit different. He has absolutely dominated the Lions for his entire career, and I just feel like this is just another rendition coming up on Sunday night. I feel like, just like Matt kind of said, Goff is not good in the cold weather, man. And I feel like the Packers win this one big. Yeah, so give me the Packers.
All right. Our guest of honor, Mr. Stewart. Are you leaving me on the island here?
I'm going to have to leave you on the island because I think next year is when the Lions make that run where they make that playoff run. I think this is the year where they showed it. Next year is when they do it. I do agree with you. Jared Goff has shown that he's not a goofball. He's not Jared Goofball. He is a legit starting quarterback. And the Lions might not even need the draft one this year. A lot of talk is they draft one this year. I think he can use that top 10 pick on something else. They're both two of the hottest teams right now as well, too. You throw the Jaguars in there as well. I'm going to go with the slightly more experienced team with the Packers in that one, but I think the Lions will show they do belong here, and good luck next year, everybody else in that division.
So I'm Lone Wolf and shout Rich Eisen. Oh, perfect. All right. Time for our next segment, brought to you by the amazing people at candips.com. Promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off. Listen, they've got stuff for They've got ones to wake you up, caffeine laced. They've got ones with melatonin. They've got your straight CBD. I chew this stuff daily. I run through about 4 or 5 pouches a day, depending on what's in it. It's good stuff. I used to chew a lot. It was a bad habit, and this stuff is definitely the best I've had since. That Blue Buffalo stuff, the jerky chew, I eat it too fast. This stuff works. It's great. It got amazing flavors like blue raspberry, Arnold Palmer, the palmy. Listen, that's me, Matt's favorite. That's the official flavor of the corner booth. Because listen, I love Arnold Palmer. I don't have the calorie count according to my dietitian. You drink Arnold Palmer every day. You know what I do? I chew a palmy, drink a little water, drink an Arnold Palmer. It's perfect. And also, like, they have amazing regular flavors, like citrus, which basically tastes like a Starburst. The mango is great. The mint literally tastes like Copenhagen mint. The American spice tastes like the best cinnamon combo, by the way, with coffee. Amazing. Anyway, candidates.com, promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off. Amazing company, great bunch of dudes, and they really do care about their customers. With that token, my first bonus can is take both receiver overs for this Jacksonville, Tennessee game. Both receivers have incentive bonuses based off of yardage and catches. Zay Jones, I believe, is off of catches, and Christian Kirk needs 91 yards and 12 catches to catch a $750,000 plus bonus. I love this bet here. Another one I love for game, if you really want something fun, take the Panthers over the Saints if you need a quick upset. Oh, wait. That's my no, I'm just kidding. Oh no, I love the Panthers as my upset pick. I there's something amazing about this. Another one I love, Jets over the Dolphins. Fun as hell. I think it's gonna be a great pick. I like there's a lot of good games you want a sneaky bet. Ravens to cover against Cincinnati. I don't care who's playing. Since he's going to probably sit their starters by halftime because they can't go up or down in the standings, and Tyler Huntley made a couple quick touchdowns off, that's a good sneaky cover bet. And also, of course, my bet of the week is definitely take the Commanders to cover against Dallas. That is a mint bet right there. So I think Sam Howell might actually have a decent game. I think he's just erratic enough where Dallas can't zone him in. And like Micah Parsons is basically that defense. And if they find a way to neutralize him, I don't know. Brian Robinson eating clock, keeping Dak and CD off the field. CD's have a great back end of the season. Either way, I really do appreciate it. My upset, of course, was TCU. Matt's was the Rams. So both of us get gimme picks. Matthew, do you have a gimme pick for me?
Yes, my gimme pick is the Vikings over the Bears. The Bears are starting Nathan Peterman, and if anybody's familiar with Nathan Peterman, you know that already comes with a big fat L and at least 3 interceptions, maybe 5, according to DJ. But give me the Vikings over the Bears for my gimme.
My gimme is the Jags over the Titans. You were telling me Doug Peterson, his first season, gets to make the playoffs with a new team, sticking it to Carson Wentz, who basically destroyed this man's career for about 2 seasons. I'm serious. This Jaguars team believes Doug Peterson, and they believe in Trevor Lawrence. And listen, I love St. Doug. This man is a god in Philadelphia. Listen, we sent him cheesesteaks after beating the Cowboys. These men can beat the garbage-ass Titans, who A.J. Brown sunned. So, yeah, just get the fuck out of here. All right, you know what? Also, another fun bet. DJ, I have your Colts losing again. Give me the Texans over them as a possible upset.
You stole that. That one I have on there
This
as well.
man bets against his own team. I love it.
Sam Ellinger is starting, and the Colts do not want to have to deal with a Bryce Young in their division to go with Trevor Lawrence. So their best interest is to lose this game on purpose and let the Bears get that number 1 overall pick. In their best interest is to let Davis Mills or whoever plays quarterback cook.
By the way, folks, so you think the 6-pack's over? No, it's not. We have the Quarter Booth Picks competition for the playoffs. Now, this gets crazy because I instituted this year because I feel like the 6-pack ending week 18 is kind of bullshit. I'll do this final score, so I'll let you know who the regular season champion is. I believe it is going to be Matt, unless I have a clean sweep. Even if I have a clean sweep, I think Matt wins. But the playoffs will add to the points. So the real winner, if for some reason I win the playoffs, but Matt wins regular season, the dude is still getting a gift card. That's the way it's gonna work. The loser gets a gift card. I'm talking like Porky Pig right now. If the regular season winner does not win the championship, win the playoffs, the regular season winner gets a gift card, where the playoff and the total winner gets the jersey. So basically, Matt, if you win the regular season but you don't get the jersey, you get a $30 gift card. I don't think I won, but if I did for some fucking reason, I get a gift card. You get the Sauce Gardner jersey.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. Any other bonus cans? Any other bets you guys like? Mason, anything that like sticking out to you right now?
Yeah, let me take a look at this week's slate. I feel like we already kind of covered most of the lopsided matchups. Let's see here.
Oh, by the way, another one. Khalif Raymond, I think, needs like 75 more yards to earn like $500,000. The dude's on like a minimum contract. Watch Dan Campbell call a couple plays for him.
Yeah, so maybe I'll take. I mean, I don't know. Are the Niners sitting everyone, or do they have anything to play for?
The Niners and the Cowboys, I think, have something to play for still.
Okay, yeah. So you know what? Give me the Niners over the Cards, man. The Cards have pretty much shut everyone down outside of like Hollywood Brown, and I think James Conner has not practiced at all this week. So who knows who they're going to be running at quarterback? Hopkins is out. So yeah, give me the Niners. They're going to have to win this game. I think so. They're literally playing for the 1 seed, right? I think they need to win to keep themselves in that hunt.
If Philadelphia wins, it's a moot point.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares. But the problem is they put Philadelphia in New York as the game of the week. So now it's like everyone's got to wait to see what happens to Philadelphia and Dallas. So the Niners could risk injuries playing. I think they're playing at the same time. I believe Dallas and Washington's at 1:00. And if that game goes south, Philadelphia could bench their starters anyway because they lock up the division. But they'd have to play because San Francisco. Oh, no. Dallas, Washington, 4:25. Philly, New York's at 425. There's no really good games at 1. You have Vikings, Bears, Bills, Patriots, Bucks, Falcons, Texans, Colts, Ravens, Bengals, Jets, Dolphins. So like not a lot of like incentive-based games. All the crap ones are early.
Yeah, I think for the Niners, I think what they need is obviously the Eagles to lose. They need to win, and I think they also need the Cowboys to lose. So if the Cowboys
And
and
they need
Eagles
the
lose and they were to
Vikings to
win,
lose too, I believe.
yeah, something astronomical.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, give me the Niners. Like you guys said, there's a lot of things that need to happen ahead of them for them to get that 1 seed, but they're probably still going to go for it. And the Cardinals are just a complete mess right now. So give me the Niners to win that game.
Nice. All right. Oh, Matt, go.
I was just gonna say I'm looking at the Bucks Falcons game, so I'm expecting obviously the Bucks to sit all the starters because they've already locked up that division. So I'm looking at Desmond Ridder, Tyler Algier, and everybody like that going up against I think it's like Blaine Gabbert. So I'm looking at that one. I might look at the spread. I might avoid the money line on that to be safe, but I'm definitely going to take the point spread for the Falcons' favor. I'm going to look at Algier again having a big game because he's been out playing Cordell Patterson this season so far, but I'm looking at that game as a game where I think you could possibly see a Falcons win over them just because obviously, like I said, it's Desmond Ridder versus Blaine Gabbert. So that's one game that I'm looking at. If I'm a better, I'm definitely taking the spread in favor of the Falcons.
I bet Falcons money line.
Yeah.
Last note, we're gonna talk about the worst sports commentators of the year. There's no layups. You cannot pick Skip Bayless. He wins by default. But I'll start. I'm going with Christopher Mad Dog Russo. This man has proven that there are still problems in media with old white guys.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, usually the old white guy thing annoys the hell out of me, but this guy fits the bill. I don't care where you lean politically, sports-wise, ethics, whatever. Chris Russo is a jackass. And his takes are so archaic and a little borderline offensive. I think ESPN just puts him on because he's the only one who can actually, take on Stephen A. But I don't know why the hell this dude even I watch this dude talk with his freaking checkerboard freaking suits. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you just caught in the 80s? My favorite part is that I actually start to miss Max Kellerman. That's how bad he is. I hate Max, but I miss him compared to Chris Russo. Chris Russo is my nominee for worst announcer of the year. Matthew, who you got?
I gotta obviously go with Brady Quinn on this one. I know the Jets had their miraculous end of the season collapse as they always do, going on a nice stretch of just straight L's. But Brady Quinn came up on the B in the year and just said on live national TV that the Jets were going to be 0-9 or something like that. He thinks they could go 0-9 to start the season off, and we wound up going 6-3 to start the season off. So I'm throwing him on there because the guy was not a good NFL quarterback, not a good NFL analyst. So I got to throw him on there for that one.
Fair. All right, DJ, you got an announcer in mind?
Well, the worst sports announcer I've ever heard of was probably Jared from this Corner Booth podcast. I don't know if you've heard of it. I kid, but in all actuality,
I endorse that.
There's a lot of trash pandas out there, especially ones that you find on especially TV-related sports ones. I'm going to go with an oldie but a goodie. I'm going to go with Gary Danielson, most known for his SEC commentary as well, too.
Yes.
He gets all the Alabama games on CBS, all the Georgia games, all the primetime 4 o'clock ones. He even has a Facebook page called We Hate Gary Danielson. It's not him, but there's a Facebook page dedicated to him with more than 1,000 people. Alabama will pick up a blitz and complete a slant yard pass. He will rave about it for 45 minutes while calling a Vanderbilt game. It won't even be an Alabama game. He'll find a way to talk about them. So I'm going to go with Gary Danielson. What was that?
Who's your college team again?
Well, I went to an FCS school, so as far as major Big 5 college programs, I'm pretty open. But I always lean towards Oklahoma because Adrian Peterson, I remember watching as a kid, and that always drew me in. So I always have a slight bias towards them, even though they were absolute trash this year.
I was D2. Me and Matt were D2. So Matt went LSU, went with Miami. Mace, of course, got the lucky. I was just too poor to go to Miami. By the way, I almost went to TCU. because they offered they offered scholarships for Catholic men of Catholic faith. So I was like, sweet.
Oh, well, that would have been great if you'd have pulled that one off. Hindsight's 2020, right? But you'd actually been to school around the same time.
Because their entrance GPA was a joke.
No, if you would have went to TCU, I think you'd have been right around Andy Dalton time too. You could hung out the red rifle,
the crotch rocket. There we go.
The red pistol Pete. You had a chance there, but I'm just gonna stick with Gary Danielson. I think there's a lot of them, and you really can't go wrong. There's a few good ones, and you could trash on a whole lot of them, but I'm gonna stick with Danielson for this one since we said no layups.
Fair enough. Save the best for last. Mace, shit on somebody, will you?
You know what? I think this is more of a low-key one. This guy's a Twitter personality. Darren Ravel. He is just awful, man. I don't know if a single person on this entire planet likes that guy. And he just has horrible takes. He's hilarious just in like the fact that he's just like so weird. He's such a weird person.
I still follow on Twitter for that exact reason, so I will endorse this.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody said Emmanuel Acho.
That's a good one too, man.
His assault on Justin Herbert's integrity this year.
Yeah, dude. Awful.
And then he starts picking a fight with A.J. Brown. Like, dude, like, we get it. Your brother's a better commentator than you are. Get over it.
And he's a Texas Longhorn, so that just adds
to
the
former Philadelphia Eagle, too. Like, are you that lame? You're going after your own team, you loser? What are you, Orlando Scandrick?
I almost threw in, if you guys are familiar with Grant Cohn, he's a San Francisco beat writer. I don't know. I just this whole offseason, he covers the team apparently, but he was picking fights with all of the players like Javon Kinlaw and everybody like that. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if you're covering a team, the golden rule is maybe you shouldn't like pick fights with that teammate or team players on that team. But he had that whole live stream with Javon Kinlaw where they were just going at it like they were getting like aggressive. Yeah.
What about the guy from the freaking San Francisco 49ers who like was just airmailing shit left and right? I mean, San Francisco Giants, the beat writer. What's his freaking name? The baseball writer. Is that Jeff Daniels?
Oh, Heyman. Is it? You're not talking about John Heyman.
John Heyman. I think John Heyman's up there too. Like, dude, like you name a guy who had a worse winter than John Heyman. Like this dude.
Yeah, that was bad.
Airmailing shit left and right.
Arson Judge. Arson Judge, and that was great. Poor guy, man.
Unfortunately, the way things are, we might have been better off picking a good sports commentator list because they've been a lot shorter than trying to find the bad ones list and narrow it down. Because unfortunately, a lot of them have over time the standard is significantly dipped to the point where you see the highest paid ones. You're like, are you kidding me? Like I wouldn't wet my butt with that. Like he's not even worth extra.
Oh, breaking news! I like.
Couldn't agree more, DJ. Couldn't agree more.
Carlos Correa now apparently is in
Don't tell me
talks
Speaker of
with
the
other
House.
teams besides the Mets. I'm looking for who it is, who's he talking to? Apparently Minnesota is back in the race. They're willing to take him back.
I mean, how bad have what would you call it? The last like 18 months for that guy? I mean, so the Astros pretty much say, you know what? We're not going to pay you. We've got this kid who we feel like is going to completely live up to expectations. And then he blows it out of the water. You know, ALCS MVP, World Series MVP, better than anything Correa ever did. And then now
he was an all-star shortstop. Let's not like completely shit on him completely.
Oh yeah, and he had tons of amazing clutch home runs and RBIs. Oh, I mean I loved him. But now he's sort of faced with the reality that like who's going to sign him? I mean, I kind of think it's weird that
Arizona will take him.
I mean, yeah. But what is the deal with like this medical issue and the fact that like no one knows anything about
injury from like 2013 where he was a minor leaguer and it's kind of lingered and it could be worse down the road.
And wait, so
but the fact that Mets might lose him is hilarious.
What's the injury, Jared?
It's something like it's something with his knee. It's like there's like separation or something or like a cartilage. It's not like a typical knee injury, but just the X-ray, like there's like a weird gap between his like the bones of his knee. It's almost like there's something wrong with it. I don't know. All I know is looking at this, the Mets find a way to fuck this up. It's also the Mets. They'll probably still lose to the Braves or the Phillies somehow.
Yeah.
But
Poor guy.
Poor guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you stopping by. Shout out to everyone who stopped by from the Craft Brew chat, Corner Booth chat, and everyone else in between. Belly of Sports, shout out. DJ, where can they find your amazing content?
You can catch our podcast and our live cast every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We just had our show yesterday as well, too. Feel free to go check that out. Then you can find on all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Megaphone, etc. You can find them on there the very next day as well, too. Follow us on all social medias, High Low Sports. Just come hang out with us. Tell us we're good. Tell us we're bad. Tell us we're terrible. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why we're right. Come hang out. It's a fun time.
It's always a good show. I actually look forward to listening to them on my Wednesdays. You can find our amazing show at Corner Booth Pod on Twitter, Corner Booth Pod on TikTok, Instagram. You can find myself at Corner Booth Jared on everything except Twitter. I'm Belly Up Jared on that. Matt, you can find a Big Wisp on Twitter as well as Corner Booth Matt on everything else. Mason runs our Twitter account along with myself. You can find that at Corner Booth Pod. Mace, do you want to plug your private Twitter or do you want to stick with the Corner Booth one today?
Hey, I will stick with the Corner Booth Pod.
Team player.
Yes, sir. All the updates for the podcast, we post our links for Spotify podcast app, YouTube on there. And we also, I'll live tweet during sports events with any breaking news, with any sports news in general. It doesn't even really have to be sports news, I guess. But at Corner Booth Pod on the Twitter, follow us, give us some likes on there, and follow that for any updates for the podcast.
Also, give us a look on YouTube. Matt's going to start hitting on YouTube Shorts. Also, we post our Tuesday episode on YouTube. So if you missed it, you get to see our beautiful faces on your YouTube page. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you stopping by. Shout out to our sponsors, Bennett Media, EatsOfficial.com, and Canadips. We will see you guys on Monday or Tuesday. I'll announce it on Sunday what we're going to do. But enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a great weekend of football. Peace out.